took me some time to call myself an artist, but I did find a connection between the way and the process when I was working with sculptures, the way I'm working with those software. And at the end of the day, I'm using those tools to keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah, when I switched to 3D specifically, I was like, oh my gosh, there's no limit.
Hey Anthony, good morning.
Good morning to you. So my name is Anthony Jegu, and I'm French, as you can hear. Hopefully my accent will not be like too strong for some people. I've been working as a visual artist for the last, I would say like 22 years. I come from a background with more After Effects. I started working in this industry working on a TV channel in France. And I started doing 3D, I will say maybe 10 years ago. Because I'm old, Jimmy.
No way.
I look good, I know.
You look good. You look real good, Anthony.
You're nice. I've been moving a lot with my family those last 20 years. So we traveled a lot and work in a lot of different places. And now my company is settled in the Netherlands.
You started off as a 2D artist, is that right? And how did that begin? And where's the love for visual stuff and 2D animation?
I never been to a school where I learned the magic of it. I did history of art. So at the beginning, at the start, I'm an artist. So I was doing sculpting. But I had the opportunity when I was 23 to find an internship. And it all started with this TV channel in France called Voyage. After that, I moved to Los Angeles because I had in mind to become more like a producer. I really wanted to tell stories. And it didn't work out at all. Los Angeles is a very hard place when you just move there and you think you have all those dreams and everything. But once again, I've been super lucky. I find some of the person will become mostly a mentor. His name is DICTATOR. He's an art director and a concept artist, a very famous one. And with his wife, who's also one of the most amazing VFX producer I met, they had this small company called HFX. But small, but they were working on all the big movies. And that was my real American dream there. We worked on the DICTATOR with the SACHA Baron Cohen. So I was doing some compositing on this movie, but we mostly worked with Dick Ferrand and Cheryl Benham, a team of 3-4 people. But the funny part is we had to deal directly with SACHA Baron Cohen. But for me personally, this guy is some kind of a comic genius. I mean, when you look at Borat,
Jak się masz? My name is Borat.
Ali G, I mean, I think I started with the Book of Eli. So that was pretty awesome. This was interesting because coming from the world of After Effects for TV, I showed up in Los Angeles and I was pretty much very confident. Well, absolutely not. The massive difference about the way they were using After Effects for doing shots for a movie than what I was doing to do actually motion design. So it's been the first reality check for me. And once again, I've been lucky because this team was amazing. I mean, I never tracked a shot this way. Even the language was for me complicated to understand. I mean, they were talking about plates. They were talking about all those language. I was I'm in trouble here. So, but it's been amazing, and I was very proud to work on the movie directed by the Hughes brothers. The most amazing thing working on this movie is also the way they were using models. So in the same office, we had all the guys doing the rotoscopy, the compositing, taking care of shots. But at the same time, they were working downstairs, making massive pieces of highway in styrofoam with models and taking nice pictures and including them in the matte painting. I hope in the future, we're still going to be able to use, the real sculpture and everything, because there's a satisfaction working with that, to put your hands in, like doing special effect like they used to be. I'm absolutely not a big fan of the French movie way of doing things. Everybody very depressed and dying at the end of the movie. But I'm a huge fan of Indiana Jones, and I'm a huge fan of this way of making movies. When I worked there, being able to do just a tiny bit and being a tiny part of the whole process was like one of the best things ever happening. Yeah.
Did Denzel Washington ever step into meetings and have a creative look?
Those big movies were like very stressful. I don't know if it's just me, because I can be like a little bit, nervous when you're not sure you can provide exactly what you need, but it's always like a big challenge.
Like a imposter syndrome.
But also you're learning.
Yeah.
It's like you're just like, oh, if I get stuck, it's not like at this time you could find anything like
true, yeah.
online.
Blender tutorials, as easy as they are to find.
Where is the 14 years old guy like who's explaining to me how easy it is? No, and I remember them explaining to me, you're lucky because we used to do matte painting by scanning books.
Oh, really? So they would scan the image?
Now we're going on internet and we're like, boom, boom, we can like mostly gonna find like a full HD version of like a reference we like and we need. I mean, it sounds stupid, but 10 years ago, it's not like you could find everything online. Yeah. They also had a friend who worked a little bit with us on some project. I'm talking with the guy and I realized the guy used to paint on glass and actually worked on Blade Runner.
Oh my gosh, tell me more. Tell me more.
His name is Rocco. I was just looking at him like he was like, and I've seen some of his painting and I'm just like, yeah, the skills. But just think about how to deal with the perspective, the light, the shadows, and everything. Now we're using like, we put a light, we put a sky, and we think like, oh my gosh, I'm God.
Yeah, we've got it easy, man, compared to what they had.
Yes, I was painting Blade Runner, and I don't know if you watched Blade Runner recently.
Yeah, I've watched that recently, and it still holds up. There's still something incredibly, the quality, it's beautiful still to this day.
And you're looking at that, and I'm like, I got goosebumps because I'm looking at that and I'm like, for real? This is madness.
Yeah, it is absolutely insane. It's like now what we can do, we shouldn't be complaining about anything.
No, but those are tools, and now what are you gonna do with them? That's the main. And also, I don't know for you, but without a passion, this is not working for me. Yeah, after the experience in Los Angeles, I started my own freelance adventure. And what I do mostly, I'm working on commercials. So commercials, marketing, a new commercial for Starbucks, who are like, was pretty interesting because it's a lot of tracking and product replacement in a very articulated choreography and things like that. So that was pretty nice to put together. Also, it was a change for me because I switched on Blender.
And was there a specific reason to test Blender, or was it just curiosity, or was it value? Was it new tools? What was the decision to do that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like, that's what happened. I got mad because I bought my license for Cinema 4D. So before that, I was mostly working with studios. They always provide a license. So you switch from a job to another saying like, oh, I need a license, or provide a license. And one day I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy my Cinema 4D license. And as soon as I pushed the button, they made the announcement. They were like switching on a monthly thing.
Oh, no.
And I had one year with the free updates, but after that, I will have to pay every month like everybody. And I'm like, hey, I'm mad. No, also I met another producer who got obsessed with the thing. He was like, I want to do that in Blender. So we had this commercial for Starbucks, but also other projects. And he was like, I wanna use only tools who are free, like for example the black magic tools or this kind of thing. I had to experiment with the tracking of Blender. Worked fine for what I had to do. I had to start like making sure like the product looked good and everything, like, and it was like pretty simple. And the magic of having like any 14 years old guy online on YouTube explaining to you is wonderful. It's a very nice feeling.
Today, Anthony, we are chatting about two projects. We've got Humans and The Tree. Can you just tell us a little bit about Humans to start with and how that came about?
When I'm not drawing, doing illustration, things like that, I like to work like around like a creative like idea or anything like that. Also, as a freelance, there is a reality of the situation. You're not always working. One of the thing I found out was helping me is to use those times where I was not working to produce something on my own, learning a new software or just learning to do something new with this software. I'm not really good at doing donuts, for example. Humans was for me 2 years of just like, okay, when I'm not working, I'm going to work on that and I'm going to switch on a new style and I'm going to do something totally different. So at the end of the day, you have like 7 or 8 different little sequences who have nothing to do with each other. But they follow a line of like, yeah, why are we humans? The reproduction, the way we met with another person and this kind of thing. So it was a good way for me to use 2D animation with the iPad and Procreate. Okay, when you spend a lot of time in front of a computer, guys, you have to know, like, your back is gonna suffer.
That's true.
And a year ago, I was like, oh, my back doesn't feel right, and I got a huge problem. I had a herniated disc. It was literally due to the fact I was spending too much time in front of the computer, and I ending up having a surgery or anything like that. So that was a mess. But I used this time to start working with Procreate and also like other like sculpting apps like Forger for Cinema 4D from Maxon. And yeah, so Humans was based on that, like using 2Ds, 3Ds, to mix like a lot of different style and see what's happening with that. And this year, I decided to work on another one, and that's the Tree one. And it's totally done on Blender. And it was very fun to do. Well, I don't think I'm starting a revolution with what I'm doing, but it was actually really pleasant to see how like straightforward Blender can be, and how everybody could actually like tell some small stories.
So software fully Blender for the Tree.
Yep.
And with Humans, obviously a mix of, we've got 2D, we've got 3D. And what was the 3D software used?
That was Cinema 4D, Unreal.
Oh, okay, Unreal Engine.
The part with the Unreal Engine is the head of a baby, or you can...
Oh, brilliant, yeah.
It was actually my way of like, okay, playing with the Unreal. I did some tests, like to render that with like, for example, like Cinema 4D and Arnold. And it was taking like a crazy amount of time. And the render part of Unreal was actually like 5 minutes, something like this. I was like, dang. It took me some time to call myself an artist, but at the end of the day, after many years, it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to, not like it's a bad word or anything like that, but I'm thankful because the sculptures I'm making is a very long process. I can use resin or I'm using wood, and it's usually take me like from 4 to 6 months to finish. But I did find a connection between the way and the process I was when I was working with sculptures, the way I'm working with those software. Like having a small studio and taking the sculpture, how I'm going to put my UVs, how I'm going to place things. And personally, as an artist, I'm really thankful I find a way to connect those worlds. And at the end of the day, like I was saying, using those tools to keep doing what I'm doing. For example, like when I was doing those sculptures with resin, I realized I was getting sick from the resin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because those chemicals, you like start pouring resin and you're like, oh, I'm doing this, and you're not careful and you spend eight hours a day or like more like to play with those. Even when you like working with wood, the dust and everything is actually not something good for you. And when I realized like I was actually like hurting myself with that, what am I going to do? Am I going to go back to just do drawing, which is like I'm also having this problem of just being limited to one thing. Yeah, when I switched to 3D specifically, I was like, oh my gosh, there's no limit. I didn't start digging into the AI thing because I'm like, I feel bad for the people who's been working all their life on a special craft. A few concept artists who's looking at that and saying like, well, I don't know how you feel about it.
No, it's I know what you mean. It's a mixed opinions on it. So yeah, it's interesting to hear anyone's opinions on.
My take on it would be a tool, like another one. I hope some people are in control of that, and we'll find a way to make sure like artists are safe in their creation and their property. You know, when you see someone online who said, hey, look at what I just made with like some of those tools, and I'm like, no, didn't really. And some people are showing up things like there's this guy on Instagram, I don't remember the name, but like he's doing some kind of sci-fi vintage screenshot of movies somehow. And I look at that and I'm like, wow, this is actually, the result is shocking. And after that, you start like counting the number of teeth and fingers there on the end.
Oh yeah.
Freaking out. It's like,
oh. Yeah.
This is weird.
Somebody did I think it was the Beatles, some concept art for Yellow Submarine. They had like 6 fingers, but from afar, when you look at it without sort of analysing it, it's kind of, whoa, that looks incredible. But yeah, there's things that are giving it away, like it's got 2 hands or
like a real nightmare.
Yeah. John Lennon with 4 hands.
As a British person, you had to bring something about the Beatles, right?
Beatles, yeah. It's got to be done. A question for you to sum up this conversation, Anthony. What's the best piece of advice that you can give to other artists?
I'm gonna make the business one who's gonna be like, yeah, you need to still be passionate, you still need to keep learning and everything. But the real advice I will say is like, be careful with your back. Because I have nothing else to say. Like, we're all trying our best. When you work for yourself, you have to do your best. Not investing in a right chair, in a stand-up desk, or the right thing. You always be like, nah, it's okay. I can still doing that. This last year has been a real nightmare. I had to have a surgery for my back. I couldn't work for 6 months, and I never imagined this happen. And I do believe when you do this in front of a computer, I'm getting to a point where I realize the way I'm working, I'm so focused on what I'm doing, and it's easy to get absorbed by a screen. It's easy to get absorbed with, like, you have all your stuff, you're doing something, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm on the verge of doing something amazing. Well, now I have this. Because my brain cannot stop. My brain is focused all the time. So I know it sounds ridiculous. I know it's probably like, come on, dude, use your phone. I need a timer. Every 30 minutes, I need to stand up. I need to go do something. It's like, if I do not, well, at the end, it's been 10 hours and I'm just going in front and I'm making emails, one more, and that's it. There's another advice about if you think about being a freelance, some people who've been doing that for a long time knows how complicated it can be. Not like you need to be strong or anything, but you need to be able to take care of yourself because nobody else is going to do it. So if you're by yourself and you're freelance, buckle up and take care of yourself. Freedom with this kind of work has a big cost. That's my toll on it.
Anthony, I just want to say, for your time, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's been really interesting and great to just have a conversation with you. It's been great.
Actually, I do believe what you do, like this, like picking up people and have a talk with them. It's actually it's very nice for the people you actually picking. I know for me, for example, I released this little video, not thinking about anything, because I'm not doing that for the likes. I'm not doing that for the views or anything like that. I'm just doing that for myself. When I had the message from Jack, honestly, it made my day.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. That really means a lot.
Yeah, when you spend a lot of time doing that, those are important things.
Have a great afternoon, Anthony. It's an absolute pleasure. I'll speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Okay, take care, man.